It's August 28th right now. I have basically officially moved into RISD. My mom was here earlier. She helped me put it in my bed sheets and she helped me organize my clothes already. Now I only have like 3 more tote bags to go through, so I'm gonna go through that real quick. Afterwards, I'm gonna give you guys a room tour, so I'll be right back in a second. My roommate's actually in here with me right now, so I'm gonna give you guys a little tour. Look at that. Hey Audrey. I'm just gonna be filming, so don't mind me. This is the microwave over there that we rented, along with the fridge. There's nothing in it right now. We plan on buying fruits or something like that to put in there. So at the moment, there's nothing really. And this is gonna be my closet. Freaking... Ta-da! There's not actually that many clothes. Like when I first packed it, I thought I would have like a lot of stuff. There's like another drawer down here too. Like there's some clothes, more clothes here. But I actually fit everything all in this entire wardrobe. So I'm actually pretty impressed. What's that? Oh, I can't get it off. Okay, it says, what is my favorite medium to use and in what brand? Okay, so I guess it's gonna be a Q&A now. My favorite medium that I like to use would probably be gouache at the moment. It used to be pen and ink because I liked how quick and easy it is to like make a design or drawing that has a lot of contrast with it. But I started liking gouache because a lot of illustrators that I follow on Instagram use gouache. So if I were to pick a brand of gouache, I would use Reeves because at the moment I'm too poor to use like Holbein or whatever. And if I were to still go back to pen, I would just use the Sakura Micron pens. And over here we have my bags. That's the will wear again laundry basket. I have another one over here where it's like clothes that I will wash soon. And that side is the clothes I wore like once or twice and I don't think it's that dirty, I'll wear again. So that's how I save money on laundry. Over here are clothes that I don't want to hang. Like for example, like I get little bra tops up here, like some big winter jackets that can't fit in, shoes up here, and up there, some hats and like another bag. So next to the clothing stand, we have my desk, which I think is pretty much organized now. This is the backpack I'll be using this semester. It's very flowery, just how I like it. My laptop and a file cabinet thing for loose papers. My sketchbook's up here. Different brushes and a bunch of different kinds of rulers. Oh yeah, and this was the Micron pen that I was talking about. I'm sure many of you already know what it is. Next to my pens, I have like my more high-end markers. Like I have like Tombow brush pens. They're like dual tip, so they have like 2 on each side, so like it justifies the price. It's not even that expensive. And this brand is like called Neopiko. I highly recommend it because it's like a really good dupe for like Copic markers, because Copic markers are freaking expensive. Anyway, so I put my pencils here, some pens, Muji pens, freaking, I don't know, Sharpie markers, and yeah, also this is my lamp I got at Costco. It's pretty cool. It has like different mood lightings and it also changes color down here. Whoa! I like to hang my necklaces up here because I don't have room anywhere else, so this saves money. I don't have to buy a jewelry stand, and I can also, you know, see what kind of jewelry I have. I mean, I don't really have that many necklaces because necklaces aren't very convenient for me, but yeah, putting it here is like really nice. I'm currently reading Tattooist of Auschwitz. I'm trying to find time to read more, and that's my photo ID. And yeah, oh, question. It asks, ideas for portfolio, what not to include, where do you go for inspiration, portfolio essentials. I'll answer this question last. So for portfolio ideas, I find a lot of my inspiration on Pinterest and on YouTube. Like, I watched the portfolio videos from other people. Here's mine right here. When you search up art school portfolio ideas, typically they would show up with ideas that a lot of AP art classes have done or IB art classes have used, and you can basically just use the idea, maybe tweak it a bit and put yourself in it. When it comes to drawing people, I recommend using yourself as a model. That way it makes a piece more personal, and that's something that a lot of judges would like to see, because they feel that you as an artist are being connected to your artwork, and they like the idea that these pieces mean something to you. What not to include in your portfolio, I recommend not including anime. Like, anime is very structural and is very easily recognizable. They want you to explore with your own style, so I definitely don't recommend putting in anime. I also don't recommend putting in unfinished pieces of work, so like work of art that doesn't really have like a background or like a strong focal point. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't put in sketchbook work. What you should include in your portfolio is to include some of your thinking, like your process work. So like pages from your sketchbook. A friend just came in. Look at that.
Oh my god. Hi.
I'm recording my video right now. Ashwati.
Hi.
What you should include would probably be variety. I think a large reason why I got in personally is because I had a lot of variety. You can have variety in several different ways through having different medium. You can have different meanings, different subject matter, and different styles. So there are many ways you can show variety in your portfolio, but basically they just want you to explore, go out of your comfort zone. For inspiration, I definitely recommend going on Pinterest, as I mentioned before. So yeah, if you search up art school portfolio ideas or AP art portfolio ideas, and or even on YouTube as well, and you can see what other people do. If you want critique, I recommend going to National Portfolio Day. I personally didn't go to National Portfolio Day because it was November 3rd and it was like 2 days after the deadline for early decision at Rhode Island, so I didn't go to Portfolio Day. But I did get critique through ACAD. This is their website. I got some critique from the schools that I wanted or was interested in going to. They ask you to send in 5 of your like best pieces. So if you send in your pieces, send in like the pieces that have the most variety. You put that in there, and the schools will reply with some critique. I also went through Art Prof. Art Prof does like portfolio critiques if you pay. So I got critique from Jordan and from Clara Liu. So that helped a lot. Like, I got a lot of insight as to what I should continue with in my portfolio. So if you do get those kind of critiques, get it as soon as possible, so you have maybe like a few more months to work on it. Also, in addition to finding inspiration, there's another question here that asks, favorite artists that inspire you? I don't have particular artists that inspire me. I like to go on ArtStation and just look at different artists. Here's a brief list that I like to look for. They're just basically concept artists, illustrators, and their drawings inspire me because in the future this is something that I want to do as well. And inspiration most of the time that I need is just mainly just like motivation, not necessarily what to draw. Like I mentioned before, if you want to have inspiration on what to draw for your portfolio, I suggest going on Pinterest, going on YouTube, and looking at what other people do for their portfolios. But when it comes to inspiration and to moving forward and being more motivated, I like to look at other artists. And conveniently, next to my toolboxes that I have for my different classes, there's another question that kind of briefly relates to that. And how do you pick yourself up if you feel doubtful of your artistic ability? I can understand that for some people, looking at other artists becomes a form of like discouragement as well, because you feel like, oh, I'm not as good as them, or like, oh, I'll never be as good as them. And that really is just about having the right mindset. You should see them as a goal, not as like competition. At the end of the day, we all go through our own forms of improvement, and we should always just see other people as inspiration. That's not saying that like I don't get down sometimes too. Looking at other people for too long, like I remember when I was applying for art school, I looked at way too many portfolio videos and I got really depressed. So I just have to remember that each person has their own pace, and art itself takes time. It's not something that you can rush. It's not something that you should cram. If you feel not motivated, just draw. I have a lot of exercises that I could recommend later, so I think there's another question coming that will be about that. So this is my bed. You got a flowery blanket, duvet cover, my stuffed animals, my pusheen. Oh, another question on my pillow. What are your thoughts on finding a stable career in art, and what do you want to study? I plan on majoring in illustration. I don't think that's gonna change, to be honest. And when it comes to career, a stable career, I think it's pretty easy nowadays because you have the internet. The internet, I recommend you use full advantage of to get yourself out there. Start young. Start an Instagram account. I have my Instagram account as Victoria Junmei. I've had it since I was in grade 9, and I'm not very active on it because of schoolwork and whatnot, and it's not really like a daily thing. I try to post at least once a month. Before, I tried to post once a week, but that was like back in like grade 9 and 10. Just trying to build a platform slowly. Finding a stable career nowadays should be easy now. You can make your own website. I have my own website as well. Make a YouTube channel. Like, just the internet can really help you promote. Like, you won't be a starving artist anymore. People will know who you are if you do the right marketing. There's my Miraculous Ladybug poster. My new succulents up there, they probably don't get enough sunshine, so they might die, so that's kind of sad. And yeah, construction outside. I have my Polaroids here. That's a huge wall. There's room for growth, so I'm excited for that. And my anime posters, and okay, BTS, Day 6, some of my favorite paintings, you know, the Earthly Delights one and the Goya painting, the cat, and you have an anime poster from Erased, and of course, another question. It asks, are there any exercises that you feel helps you improve, and how do you develop your art style? Put that question back. Oh my god, it's supposed to be a secret. Okay, so developing your art style. Firstly, I think you should start off with drawing from realism. Before you have your own style, you should understand anatomy. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They skip that and try too hard to develop a style before understanding anatomy. Learn how to shade, learn how to draw, color theory, etc. before you start thinking about your own style. That's what I think. And style comes naturally. I don't think I have a style, but people say I have a style, so I don't know about that. And are there any exercises that you feel helps you improve? My friend and mentor that I mentioned earlier, Jordan, he told me about the 1,000 head challenge. I'm still working on that, which is basically you take 10 to 15 minutes to draw one head, like a sketch of a head, or like a portrait, and you just do like 10 to 15 minutes each. So you don't spend any more time on each one. Then you try to get as much of the detail down as possible. And I feel like that helped a lot when it comes to hand-eye coordination and drawing people. When you have an art block, just practice. Just draw from real life, and just practice your fundamentals, because you can never get enough of that. Moving on to this side of the room, we have my stool, because I raised my bed, as you can see, and it's super high up, so my short legs will need this to get on here, to get on my bed like this. So yeah, it's pretty high up, so getting down takes a little bit of parkour. Down here, we have tissue, cotton, just makeup removing things. In this box, I put my eyeshadow palettes, lashes. This is my jewelry box. I keep loose jewelry, basically just for rings. I don't have that many because I'm not much of a ring person, but some other earrings that I can't hang up. I hang most of my earrings in this folder right here. My mom got this for me for my birthday, and it's just like an earring organizer. It's like a book just for earrings. I definitely have way too many. Actually, no, you can never have too many earrings, can you? So there's room for growth for this as well. And I keep that here. This is where I put my makeup, my cow, my little octopus, Jeremy is his name. This is just where I put my smaller eyeshadow palettes. The big ones go down here. Blushes go here with highlighter. I don't have that much highlight. I just have like one. And down here it's just like miscellaneous art products, so like some powder, my brows and whatever. This is my skincare stuff, some brushes, pencil formed stuff like eyebrow pencil and whatever. And these are creams. I made the room really crowded because of these two things, but I don't know where else to put it because to save space, I always recommend using the space on the walls other than just for posters or whatever. So mascaras, lipsticks, whatever, brushes, and foundations go inside this pocket. Beauty blenders go in here. And there's a zipper here and opens up and it's just like hair ties and other hair products in here. I think that is basically it for, oh, another note. What is the biggest lesson you've learned in high school and would you have done anything differently? That's a heavy question. So in high school, I don't really regret anything. I think I did really well in grade 11 and 12 in terms of managing my time, but I feel like I definitely didn't have as much of a fun time with that I should have. At least a lot of people, they had like senioritis, so they just kind of just gave up in grade 12, and I kind of wish I was able to just give up in grade 12, but it was hard to because when you have such a strong work ethic throughout your 4 years, it's really hard to just give up and just like not care. Like I couldn't not care, and I spent so much time, especially on business leadership. I recommend you don't take that course. I spent so much time on that class that I didn't really have time to go out, and I didn't even do that well on the exam too, so it was like a double waste of time. But at least I learned something. So would I do anything differently? Not take business leadership. That's it. I just realized the question asked, what is the biggest lesson you've learned in high school? The biggest lesson I've learned in high school is fake bitches want gold. I'm kidding. Ashwati, what's your biggest lesson you've learned in high school? I need help on this question.
I don't know.
Me neither.
Maybe like
to properly answer, I think the biggest lesson I've learned is people who try will get somewhere. In school, you will always get the feeling that people are pressuring you to be a certain way. And I know this sounds very cliche, but just know that when you live your authentic self, you would feel better at the end of the day. And when you leave high school, like I am right now, I'm not in high school anymore, obviously, I feel that I haven't done anything wrong. And as long as you do the things you felt was right at the moment, you wouldn't live a life of regret. At least I really enjoyed my high school years. So I hope I also enjoy my university life here, which I'm sure I will, with great people who ignore me. To be honest, I feel like I should also show you Audrey's side of her room because she also did a pretty good job of decorating her side. Oh, my hair's a mess. Audrey, would you like to tell us something about your side of the room? How about you show us something on your wall?
Sure. What are you interested in?
How about that one over there? Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait, what's that on you? Wait, what's that? What's that? Oh, look, another question. Do you struggle with habitually practicing and making art while balancing schoolwork? I'll ask about that later. I don't mean to cut you off. Do you want to answer this with me? Did you struggle with habitually practicing art? Did you struggle?
I never make art.
You never make art?
I never make art.
That's why she got into an art school. She doesn't make art. She's a performance artist. No, I'm kidding. For me, when it came to like practicing, I just feel like really bad when I don't draw because I'm always like, at least in grade 11, I felt like, ooh, deadlines are coming, I have so many projects to do, and the stress of like not doing anything and not surmounting to anything really pushed me forward. So having negative feelings isn't really a bad thing. Having stress is also not a bad thing, especially if you let that feeling push you forward. So I highly recommend you write a to-do list. Write down things that you should do and you need to do. Practicing, most of my practicing for my skill I actually did just in grade 9 and grade 10, and in grade 11 that's when I really went forward with creating my portfolio because I don't really have time to just draw in my sketchbook. I guess you can for like an art piece. You could do like some like portfolio sketches. That could be your practice. You can even show that in your portfolio when you apply. So show some of the practices that you've done. But like I said, if you have pieces that are really incomplete, it doesn't give your portfolio that finished vibe. So if you're gonna do like practice pages, make sure you make them aesthetic. Washi tape does a really good job of making things look aesthetic. making art while balancing schoolwork, allocate time for art and allocate time for work. And sometimes you just gotta make sacrifices. I also play badminton competitively, so I actually have to balance all three things, which is like art, I have to balance school, and also have to balance my badminton career thing. It wasn't like a big deal, but it was like a hobby, and I did compete, so I needed like 12 hours a week to train. And to draw, I just put in like snippets of time. Another thing I did when I was making my portfolio was I made a chart of drawing ideas that I wanted to do for my portfolio. So I knew what I wanted to include in my portfolio. Like I wrote down, do a still life, include a self-portrait, and whenever I think of any concepts, I would write it down. I actually prefer writing over than just sketching, because like doing compositions and stuff like that isn't my strong suit. I also forgot to mention that under here I have a little cabinet for my tools. I labeled here tools for my room or just projects in general, like hole punchers, and probably I have some paper clips and staplers in there. Then I have wet media tools. I think I wrote it down here. So yeah, for wet media, so we have watercolor, palettes, and acrylics over there. I don't do oil. I've never done oil in my life. And down here I have dry media, so charcoal, color pencils. These are like a really good dupe for Copic markers. Neopiko, you can find it on Amazon. This is really good. Like it's also dual-ended, so it's actually basically just like Copic markers, except like half its price. And oh yeah, this mirror that I wanted to show you guys. This took me forever to put up.
I'm sorry, I'm a lot of
What are you doing right now?
I'm Googling mango because I'm an art student.
Okay, so this mirror, we finally put it up. This actually was our second mirror already. The first mirror fell and cracked on its face, so I had to go all the way back to Bed Bath & Beyond and get friends to help me carry it home. And yeah, so we have a mirror for me and Audrey to be vain. Anyway, so I think I'm done the video now. I think I went over everything, and I'm just gonna do the outro now. Thank you guys for watching.
Yo, Victoria! What's that?
You're right, what is that? How are you so small? Okay, I am not answering that. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will try to post more videos as I go through RISD. Maybe show around my classes, just my classwork. Maybe I'll do some vlogs. I don't know if you guys want to see more of my face. If you guys have any suggestions of what you want to see, get off of my cow. If you guys have any suggestions as to what you want to see in the future, don't forget to leave some comments if you have any suggestions. I literally just said that. Like and subscribe.